AI has already replaced millions of jobs, from sales, marketing, finance, accounting, design, literally any job you can think of. For most people, this is a pretty scary thing. But on the flip side, if AI can be replacing all these jobs, it presents a brand new opportunity for you to start your business and be on the winning side. It's now possible for anyone to build a profitable personal brand in online business. For me, I quit my six-figure tech sales job in Silicon Valley many years ago to build my online business here in Vietnam. Personally, I use AI to run my entire business, so I have free time to train Muay Thai in the mornings while working, traveling to another country every other month, and being able to coach and teach others all around the world just from my laptop. Now, what I'm going to show you in this video is if I had to start over from scratch again, knowing what I know, these are the 5 steps I would take to build a profitable personal brand today in the era of AI. And we're going to be covering things like how to even use AI, how to find your business idea, how to create content, and even how to make this all happen as a profitable one-person business. And the first step is understanding why you even need to be building your one-person business today. So here's a problem that everyone's going to face. AI will essentially replace most skilled jobs, right? Whether it's DM setting, sales, marketing, anything creative like animations, 3D graphics, all that kind of stuff, and including finance and accounting, right? If you find yourself doing these kind of jobs, you might be like, oh my God, my job, like I'm going to be replaced with AI. But here's how you actually take advantage of it. So if you have a skill, your chances are you're working with your hands and not with your brain. That means you're the one counting the numbers, you're the one doing the sales, you're the one writing the DMs, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. But because all of this will eventually be automated, and even 5-10 years from now, AI is going to be significantly better than humans doing this, the key is to start using your brain. Because where I see the future of work in AI is humans are still going to need to have vision. They're still gonna need taste, creative direction to set the vision of like where all these AI robots should be working. And then also, once the AI is doing its job, somebody has to manually curate whether or not this is good or this is bad. So even though AI is coming for everyone's job, understand that AI will not magically do all the work for you if you're on the flip side as a business owner. It would be great if I can say, hey, I got 10 AI agents who are as good as 10 employees, right? It doesn't quite work that way right now. How it does work metaphorically is like this. I think of the role of humans in the era of AI is your job is to launch and land the rocket, meaning you're setting the vision of where you want to go, what does success look like, what are the objectives, and then you give the criteria to AI. When you launch the rocket and it's going in space, AI does the rest of the work. It's going to design the thing, count the numbers, send out the DMs, all that kind of stuff, the actual work that needs to be done. And then once it does all the work, you're going to need to land the rocket, meaning you need to look at the output, see whether it's good or bad, tweak a couple things, and you go back to launching the rocket, right? But at the moment, AI cannot launch a rocket or land the rocket. It can only fly the rocket, which is just doing the work. So with a one-person business, why this is a beautiful model, if you're watching this right now, is you might be one human being, and you might have 3 AI agents doing work for you, whether it's content, sales, right? Whatever it is that you're building a business in. And you might have some contractors here and there because not every single job is going to be replaced right now, right? But essentially, you don't have to have any employees. There's no overhead. You don't have to pay payroll for everybody. You just got a bunch of robots working for you. Once in a while, maybe you have to pay an actual person to do some kind of work, like having a human look at your taxes or something, right? But you see how profitable it can be to build a one-person business nowadays. And I've pretty much been running this model for many years now while living in Vietnam. I left America to do this. And, I do have staff here and there, but then it's not like a huge headcount, right? You don't need 50 people to get something done. You can have a couple A players and then use AI to do the rest, which is what I pretty much do, right? So with one-person business, you have high profit margins because AI significantly reduces the cost and it's cheaper than a full-time employee. Low stress because you don't have to spend so much time dealing with regular people, and it's really optimized around your lifestyle. So in business, you can go as far as you want to go, right? And the way I think about it personally is your business should support the life that you want to live. It shouldn't be you grinding 16 hours a day just to make ends meet. Why not design your life in a way where, for me, I can train Muay Thai in the morning, I can travel around the world every other month, I can spend time with my girlfriend, we can go to the arcade, see a movie, and enjoy my life, right? It doesn't mean I don't work hard, but I design my life specifically in this way with the help of AI. Now, real quick, if you're someone who's serious about building a personal brand, building an online business, making income, even if you have a 9-to-5 job, I want to invite you to a free live training coming up where I'm going to show you in detail, step by step, on how you can make this happen for yourself. And most of the content that I'm going to be sharing inside the video, I haven't shared anywhere else, not even on my YouTube channel. This is typically the stuff that I reserve for my clients. So if you want that free training, check the link in the description for the dates and also the sign up link for you to secure your spot. So make sure you get your spot ASAP so you don't miss out. I'll see you live. So obviously everybody should be starting a one-person business because, like, why wouldn't you? This is the best time to do it. But the next step is actually the hardest, which is finding your profitable business idea. So the problem that a lot of people have, and I work with clients all around the world who are starting their businesses, especially if they have a 9-to-5 job, is that they have all these ideas in their head, right? They have a lot of skills. They're getting paid pretty well at their job. And they're like, man, I can do this, I can do that. Maybe a lead generation agency. Maybe I want to do YouTube, right? It's like, when you have the potential to do anything, sometimes you get paralyzed because there's just too many options. And I've learned it's because people with high potential tend to freeze and do nothing because they're afraid of going in the wrong direction. What if you start a business that you don't like, then you're stuck, right? And sometimes that's, you don't want to put yourself in another job, essentially. So the solution is really just to build a business designed uniquely around your skills, knowledge, and experience, okay? So don't chase the hype, build something that you can actually be world-class in. And I'm going to show you a live example of how to do this using AI. So when it comes to finding a profitable business idea, there's only 3 things you really need to think about. What skills do you have or desire to acquire? What are your passions? And what's some idea that actually makes some profits, right? Making some money. When you find the combination of the overlap between 3 of these variables, you will find your business idea. So I'm going to give you a prompt that I personally made for you guys in this video, okay? You can take a screenshot of this, put it into Claude or ChatGPT, whatever you use, and get the whole thing. Let's just quickly go over this prompt, right? You basically say, hey, like, you're a world-class business coach. You helped a lot of people start personal brands and one-person businesses from zero. And I'm looking for my business idea where I can be a niche of one. I don't want a team. I don't want complex operations. I just want a lean, simple, profitable lifestyle business, right? So step 1, I'm going to give you a bunch of skills, passion, and profits. Step 2 is I'm going to have AI find all the best business ideas and scour the web for models that actually work. Find 3 to 5 real people already making money doing this thing so it's validated. I don't have to validate it myself, right? And number 3, I want them to recommend me the right model. Okay, so this one's actually pretty intricate where depending on where you are and where you're starting out, you might want to create different kind of offers, right? Essentially for most people, you should do a high ticket offer, meaning something $2,000 to $5,000. Depends on the situation, right? So like, I'll just go over real quick. If you have high skill, not enough traffic, and a big personal brand, you probably want to go high ticket so that even though you have like 100 views, one person might buy for $5,000, right? That's how a lot of agencies do it, B2B. But even B2C, you can sell high ticket as well. If you have high skill, high volume, you can do anything you want. You can do low ticket, mid ticket, high ticket. The best personal brands do all of them because why not monetize every single dollar from your audience, right? Now, if you have low skill, low volume, meaning you don't have any skills and you don't have much traffic, it's going to be hard to start a personal brand and make money, right? So you might as well just learn a skill first, whether it's at your job, you learn it online, and then you want to go high ticket because you don't have a personal brand yet. Now, if you have low skill, high volume, let's say you get a lot of views, but you're not particularly good at your thing, just do low ticket, sell a PDF, sell some prompts, I don't know, like $1 to $97, right? But for majority of you guys watching, most likely you probably have a skill, you probably have a pretty good job. So you want to go high skill, low volume is probably the situation you're going to start in. And that's the fastest way to make 10K I've found as a one-person business. So going back to this, once we find the ideas, I want AI to basically rank the 3 ideas from best to worst and explain how they made the decision, and then I'll make the final call. So in this example, I'm going to share some of my ideas that I had from my personal experience and throw it in here, right? And in this example, I'm going to say I'm leaning towards some kind of business related to AI automations because, for me personally, a lot of the clients I work with, everyone's kind of doing something related to AI, whether it's selling to regular people, selling to businesses. So it's a really good opportunity, right? So I'm going to use that as an example. Okay, so it's easy as this. I'm basically just copy and pasting my prompt, copy and pasting all my skills, passions, and things that I think make money. I'm just going to press enter on Claude. So why I personally use Claude versus ChatGPT right now is just, I think Claude is just working way better for me. And there's a lot of functionality. I'm not going to go too deep into it, like, the co-work and all that kind of stuff that makes it much better for me. So if you use this prompt, you're gonna get something similar, right? So for me, it's gonna be like, all right, idea number one, AI-powered personal branding coach for B2B founders and consultants. Okay, it's actually kind of similar to what I'm already doing, but right now I'm helping people build personal brands for founders and people who have 9-to-5 jobs, who have skills. And it's going to give me some examples of people who kind of do the same thing. It's going to give me their price points, and it's just searching the web to find generally what people have said about these people's coaching programs, right? So we see like, okay, if I went high ticket, these are some examples I can do more research into, and I can see their price points and really imagine myself like, hey, if I was doing what they were doing, would I be happy doing that? And that's just a way for you to get the ideas brewing, right? It's not about guessing what works and guessing what makes money. Let's just find out from the market, right? Yeah, I mean, like helping people build a personal brand with AI, that's pretty hot. Even this video, the way I package it, it's literally doing this. So 100% this idea makes sense. Idea number two, YouTube as a B2B sales machine. I actually see this a lot in the actual market where a lot of people, and they don't even have YouTube channels, will go to a business and say, hey, I can help you build your YouTube channel and get you a bunch of leads. And it actually works. I've seen it, I have friends do it, and they don't even have a big YouTube channel themselves, but they're good at what they do for other people, right? So these are all the people that it's giving me, people who do more B2B. Some of them also do B2C. So it's a mix. You got to do a little more research to kind of get in there. And then there's also AI sales training, right? So combining AI with sales, I think that's a hot market as well. So you definitely can like start an AI agency or something like that in this kind of field. So all these models actually are pretty decent. It's giving me like different options, but like in my particular scenario, I would go to high ticket. You know, it's just easier to make money. It's simpler. If you want a lifestyle business that doesn't require you to have like a lot of moving parts, high ticket is the way to go. So based on fit, based on what it knows about me, it's going to rank, you know, AI personal brand coaching as number one, right? And so I might look at that and be like, okay, I like personal branding. I like making content. I understand sales. I love AI. Maybe that's the idea for me. And real quick, I want to share an example with you of one of my clients, Sandy Lee, right? So if you want to find her on YouTube, it's Sandy Lee AI. Now she's becoming one of the fastest growing AI creators on YouTube. Just like a month ago, she was at like 500 subs, but now she's gaining about 500, 600 subs a day, right? So now these videos like outlier. So she's crushing it. And the crazy part is like a couple months ago, she didn't know anything about AI. So she became an AI expert in a couple months. She signed her first client for this client's paying her $5,500 a month, and she's doing AI automations for them, helping them with blog posts and SEO. And then she started a YouTube channel, and you know, she's getting more clients with that. She's going to do consulting and advising in the future as she builds this up, right? So my point is, Sandy, you know, when she started out with me, she didn't even know what she wanted to do. She was kind of into AI, but she didn't really was super savvy around it, and she's busy with a 9-to-5 job. Doing the exact process I showed you using Claude and everything like that, we were able to find this idea for her, execute on it, and now, I mean, $5,500 per month is not too bad, and doing something she loves and building her personal brand around that, right? So if Sandy could do it while working a full-time job and she has 3 kids, I don't see why you can't either. So now that you understand how to find an idea, the next step is naturally, how exactly are you going to build your personal brand like I have, like Sandy has done? How can you do this for yourself? Especially if you're starting from zero, you don't have experience and you don't know how to make content, right? Because someone like Sandy, for example, she literally had no experience doing this. So I'm going to walk you through what I shared with her, and hopefully it'll inspire you so that you can also do it too. So the problem with creating a personal brand is that people actually confuse creating content with personal branding, right? Just because you're making a bunch of videos and you're copying other people's scripts and you're using AI to find the best ideas, it doesn't mean it's going to work, right? I see this all the time. Most people, they're creating content without understanding their positioning. They don't know what makes them different, and they just post and they just don't get much traction. You know, I've seen it all the time. So the key is you want to understand your positioning and your personal brand foundations first. You start with the vision of what you want your brand to look like, what you want to be known for, and you start working backwards from there. And this is very important because it's a problem that AI can't necessarily solve. You can't just go to Claude and say, hey, find my unique positioning. Like, if you're not thinking about it, this is what I really mean by launching the rocket and landing the rocket. If you don't have a clear vision on how to look at the market and find gaps, and you're relying on a machine to tell you what to do, chances are it's not going to be that good, because if it was so easy, everybody would have a personal brand and AI would be doing all the work, right? And I want to make a note that you're going to see a lot of videos on YouTube, Instagram, any platform where they're saying, oh, like I have AI as my content machine and it's posting, 40 posts a day. In reality, like I see all these creators, I've studied them. I know a lot of people that do this kind of stuff, and most of the outputs that these like magic AI content systems aren't actually that good. There's probably like top 1% of people who are excellent at using AI, but their knowledge in this is at a whole different level. But for the average person who's like creating these systems, it usually does not work. And how you know is if you watch these videos online and you actually try to find the output of like, okay, what did your AI create? It's probably trash. So just understand, to use AI to build a personal brand, I'm going to show you how to make the process like 10 times faster, but don't rely 100% on AI. Otherwise, you will literally sound like everybody else and your personal brand will be forgettable. Now, if you don't want to be forgettable, there's a couple questions you should ask yourself. Like, why does your personal brand even exist? Like, what are you trying to do? For me, I want to inspire others. I want to show you guys that it's possible. For you, you might have a similar mission. You might have a whole different mission, depending on basically like your values, right? You want to also ask like, what makes you different? What about your content, your personality, the background of your setup, right? That makes you instantly stand out. For me, if you notice in this video, I rolled a lot of B-roll at the beginning of me living in Vietnam, quitting my 6-figure tech sales job, left it all to build an online business, right? Also the fact that I'm Asian, that's one thing that I've noticed, that a lot of my clients happen to be also Asian. So these are the things that you might think it's just normal everyday things, it's just how you live your life, but it's what makes you unique. For Sandy, the AI girl I was showing you earlier, her whole narrative is she's a busy mom, full-time job, learning AI on the side, building a side business, AI automation agency, and she still has time to make all these YouTube videos, to run this side business and her full-time job. And she's not even a technical person. So for all the moms out there, all the women out there trying to get into the AI space, when they see Sandy doing it with the like cards stacked against her and she's actually succeeding, for the demographic she's trying to attract, they're gonna love just her whole personality. And it's not even about who is the best at the thing. It's about whether or not you're relatable. And that is the key on being different. Now, last piece is, what are the gaps you can fill? So what kind of new angle or positioning can you take that no one's really paying attention to? Oftentimes, if you look at the market and you just do the opposite or say the opposite of what everyone else is saying, you will instantly stand out. But you can also find gaps that no one's just paying attention to. I will give you a live demonstration on how to actually do this, right? Because I've done this for Sandy, so I'm just give you some sauce. So there's a guy, Nate Herc. He's an AI automation expert, okay? He's getting a lot of views and subscribers every single month. So like if you're trying to build in the AI space and you're looking at this guy and you're like, all right, man, this guy already has 500,000 subs. He's got 300 videos. How am I gonna compete when I'm starting from zero? It's pretty easy. First, what you're gonna do is you're gonna get this prompt. So screenshot it right now so you can use it for yourself. And we're gonna find the gaps. So you're a world-class YouTube expert, and this works for any platform, right? Just switch out YouTube for Instagram or LinkedIn. It's pretty much the same thing. I'm gonna give you a YouTube channel. You're gonna analyze it, and you're gonna find the gaps in this competitor, right? Analyze their content, search the web, what are their topics, identify the main topics they talk about, find the gaps, and give me some video ideas so that it's more tangible. Now, why I'm using AI to do this process is because like I could do it myself, and I could go through every single video, but why would I when I can just literally use a prompt and have AI do it, right? All right, so as you can see, I'm in Claude again. It already has context, right? So we're gonna do the whole like AI automation, whatever. I'm gonna compete with this guy. I put his YouTube channel in, copy and paste my prompt, enter, and let's let it run. Okay, so we got the analysis and let's go ahead and go through it, right? So here's what he's good at. NA8 tutorials, he probably blew up with that one. AI agent building, Claude code for non-developers, right? Non-technical people, AI automation agency blueprint. He has a school community. So what are the gaps here? Based on the analysis and it's finding all the information online, one potential gap is Nate teaches how to build an AI automation kind of business, I believe. But he doesn't teach you how to become an influencer like he did. Is there a gap in the market for that? Absolutely, right? Because I think a lot of people want to know how Nate got all those views in the automation space, how he started his school community and got all these people paying him, I think like hundreds of thousands of dollars per month, right? That's a very valuable thing he can sell, but he doesn't want to sell. Maybe he doesn't want to give away his secrets. Personal brand as a moat in the AI era. That was kind of interesting, right? So if you went hardcore into content and personal branding using AI, then you would instantly stand out because he's not focused specifically on that niche. And I think there's going to be room for a lot of people who focus on like sales plus AI, content plus AI, right? So you don't have to be so general like he is. AI for non-technical people. That's what Sandy's doing already. So that's a gap that we're already filling. And I think the human side of building, right? Not even just mindset, identity, but also when I'm looking at this guy's YouTube channel, one thing that I feel like he can improve on is you don't know anything about him. You don't know where he lives. You don't know if he's married. You don't know what he likes to do for fun. You know what I mean? It's like there's not much of the personality in the personal brand. It's kind of like just like news, how to, right? So I feel like to compete in this field, you could probably niche into certain AI use cases. You can just do what he's doing and add personality, and you would probably win if your content is just as good. Just because not a lot of AI creators right now, from my observation, tell their story, right? They're just not that good at it. And I can tell you from experience, it's because AI is so hot right now, the barrier to entry is very low. So not a lot of sophisticated content creators are in the game. So that's why I like Sandy, even though she's starting out and she's like pretty new, she's like winning because, again, high demand, low supply, you automatically win, right? But yeah, my point is you want to find these gaps so that when you do start creating content, you have something unique about you and you're not just another copycat how-to creator. So now that you understand the fundamentals, I'm going to show you how to find the 10x content ideas. And the problem we're going to solve is that a lot of times when you're new to personal branding, you're going to think about, oh, I don't know what content to make, right? You're worrying so much about being original and being different, but it takes so long for you to make the content, you don't end up doing anything. So the solution is really just to build on top of outliers. And these are just, outliers are videos that just perform really well relative to the other person's videos, right? So if we were to go on Nate's videos, an outlier would be, like, you see that little score here? I'm using vidIQ for this. This one's like a 2x outlier. So it's like, okay, it did better than its normal videos, right? So you're looking for something that typically has 4x the outlier score in the last 4 months. That's typically what I personally do, right? So a lot of people, they'll create like very complicated Claude AI agents to find ideas every single day, right? And, you know, put it on a Google Sheet or whatever, right? You'll probably see that a lot if you're into that kind of stuff. I personally have realized that it's not that useful. And when I listen to interviews and talk to other YouTube strategists, they also don't find it that useful, right? It's just like a gimmick, you know, to be like, oh, I use Claude to find these ideas. But in reality, this is the real of how people do it. They use a tool like 1 of 10. This one you got to pay for. It's like $50 a month. And then you just track people, right? So for example, I made a list of a bunch of business people who are talking about personal branding, okay? If I just look at it and I filter, I can see all the latest videos that from the people on my list. I see the outlier right there. And that's it. Why would I need to put it on a Google Sheet when I can visually see all the thumbnails and titles and the numbers like right here, right? So that's why, like, don't be fooled by these AI gurus, you know, like just do the thing to get the result as quickly as possible. You don't even need AI for this part. Now, if you were to do it for free and you just use Claude, right, you can actually use the Claude feature where it goes into your browser and then it can find the videos for you. So I just put a prompt in. I said, hey, go on this YouTube channel, find me the outliers in the last 4 months. That's a 4x, and it's literally gonna control my browser for me, and it's gonna make this list. So yeah, basically in the last 4 months, give me the videos that get 4x outlier, go on his channel, and now it's doing all the work. So, you know, I mean, this is equivalent to like an agent doing work for you, right? Like an AI Claude agent. So it's gonna find me the 4x outliers. There's only 3 of them. There's 6.5x, 4.5, 4.2, the day, the video, so I can go about on YouTube and find it. I can also ask Claude to just give me the link. And it's giving me an analysis, right? So format is beginner guide to X and Y minutes. So I could be like, okay, like what's my version of that, right? The keyword that is popping off is Claude code, NaN is dead. So anything Claude code is gonna win. And anything that's beginner friendly, right? So if you did beginner friendly videos using Claude code and formatting it like beginner's guide to whatever, it's gonna be a hit. So you see, that's a pretty useful insight that an actual YouTube strategist would have to like spend an hour like thinking about. But with Claude, it doesn't work for you. So now using 1 of 10, you're gonna find the ideas, but also using AI, you can dissect the ideas to understand why it works and reverse engineer it and create your own version of it. So you understand how to find these 10x ideas, but now let's talk about how do you actually create content with AI? So the problem for most people that I coach is it takes them really long to write the scripts, right? Whether it's a short or a long form video, and you're spending a lot of time just preparing and you're just not posting enough. So the solution is to write your scripts with AI. Now, AI powered, not purely 100% writing it with AI, right? So how we're going to do this is we're going to get the outlier video that we found with the method I just showed you before. We're going to write our unique version of their video with our tone of voice to make it unique. And then we're going to add our personality, story, our sauce to make it something that's different. All right, so we have another prompt here. And this is for script writing specifically. You're an expert YouTube script writer. I'm going to give you a video. You're going to break it down. Tell me specifically what works, the hook, the structure, the pacing, everything, because I don't want AI just to do it. I want to understand it so I can make sure the output is good. Then I want to identify what's missing in the video. Where does it fail? What are the questions left unanswered? How do I make it actually better? And then I want AI to break down the entire video into bullet points, structure it by section so I can see which parts I want to take inspiration from. Then I'm going to write my own version with my own words and my own tone using a previous video and transcript that I already have. So to do this, it's pretty easy. I'm just going to pick a random video here. Let's say I'm going to build something with Claude, right? All I got to do is use certain tools to get the transcript. All right, so I'm going to copy the transcript here. I'm going to paste it here. Then I'm going to get one of my videos, copy my transcript so it knows my voice, and I'm going to paste it here, right? And that's it. And just to note, there are many tools that also do this. Instead of paying for all these different subscriptions, it's probably better just to like get really good at being using Claude. That's what I'm personally doing. So I didn't really give it much context in this situation. So when I just kind of dropped the prompt and everything, I didn't tell it exactly what to do. And basically what it did was it took Nate's video and kind of is going to break it down. And then it recommended me like, hey, you can create that video, but apply it to personal branding, since you talk about personal branding with AI, right? And then it breaks down the video that I gave it, breaks down what's missing in these, the content itself. And then it gives me the whole skeleton of like his content, like, so I can see visually like, okay, like this is how it goes. And then it's literally going to give me a full script from start to finish on how I can do it as well, right? Now, will I just take this script and make a YouTube video out of it? Probably not. But I'm going to look at each chapter to take certain pieces that I think are really good. And then I'm going to have to fine tune each chapter to make sure that it's something that I would be proud putting out, right? So again, launch the rocket, let AI do its thing, curate the content that it creates, which is this stuff, and then make it better. And that's the thing that you're going to create. And of course, when it comes to the thumbnails and titles, you can also use AI to brainstorm different title ideas. You can screenshot the thumbnails itself, put it in, give it recommendations. And it's pretty much as simple as that. And even for Sandy, a lot of these thumbnails are actually made with AI. I believe she uses Gemini, but for this video, we're gonna keep it simple on Claude, not to go a whole tutorial mode on how to make thumbnails, but you get the idea, right? Everything can be done with AI or can be AI assisted to make it 10 times faster. All right, so at this point, you know the 5 steps that it takes to build a profitable personal brand using AI. And like I said before, AI isn't necessarily going to do all the work for you, but it can do a lot of the work, but you still have to do the thinking, and it will just speed up your time 10x. And look, when it actually comes to building a personal brand, AI, like I just showed you, can give you the direction, but the hardest part is really knowing which direction to take and knowing whether or not it's actually for you. That's why someone like Sandy, even though she knows how to use AI, she can do it herself, she chose to work with me because it's having that human, that expert guidance and having taste and understanding another person's emotion to guide them in the right direction. Because yeah, AI can make a recommendation on what business to start, but it doesn't mean that's the right business for you. So for those of you who want to build a profitable personal brand, build an online business, and do this using AI to speed up the entire process, I invite you to book a call using the link in the description with me. And on the call, we're gonna map out a custom growth plan for you to figure out, okay, what kind of personal brand and business can you build using your unique skills, knowledge, and experience? And I'm going to show you the ropes on how to sign your first client, similar to how Sandy signed her first $5,500 per month client, even while working a full-time job. So if that sounds interesting to you and you want to have a chat with me, link is in the description for my calendar. And if you want the full case study on how I took Sandy from zero to signing her first clients and building a profitable YouTube channel, check this video out here.